You know, it seems here that for most of FANG, maybe we can set Facebook aside a little bit, it has really just been about pretty much the same story with what's going on at the companies and maybe even the fundamentals, and just the market deciding to put a different valuation on those fundamentals. Do you think that's the case, and what, if anything, might change about that preference in going into 2019?
Well, Mike, I think there is going to be a split in the FANG. I think you're going to see some more outperformance from companies like Apple and Google and the other ones, but the fundamentals have changed slightly, and I think if you look at the near-term fundamentals specifically, this is setting aside all that's going around data privacy and some pushback against social. Setting all of that aside, you have growth rates generally starting to slow. Apple is just an strong company, but they're also working through, they've talked about some headwinds regarding emerging markets and demand around phones and what potential impact that could have. And so there are some nuances around the FANG names that haven't been present, let's say, 6 months ago, that add a little bit of complexity to how the weighting should play out for investors over the next few months.
And Brian, now you've had a sell rating on Facebook for some time. Obviously been correct. This has been sliding steadily. Now the stock is at about 128 and change. I think your price target's 125. Is it time for you to reassess? In other words, are all the challenges you've been talking about priced in at this point?
Well, I mean, I'm constantly reassessing what I'm thinking. I mean, here's the problem, though. Risks are more to the downside than anything. That's not to say I'm changing my price target necessarily, but is to say that I think that Wall Street may still be too optimistic on revenues. I think that independent of what's been happening over the last few weeks, most investors still don't understand that there are real limits to growth for the total advertising market and for digital advertising, and then for Facebook inside of that. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I think too much of Wall Street still thinks that when Facebook's giving guidance around operating expenditure growth, that that's a conservative number. I don't think Facebook has a handle on the kinds of expenses that they're going to have to incur on all sorts of fronts.